What happens?
All right. And here we are with some gasoline.
Oh,
We're back for another cafe crash. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing, talented Susan Dillon. Susan, how are you?
I am just dandy. How are you, Daniel Crosier?
I'm good. I am still laid up in bed with a fractured tibia, and it is just swell.
Oh, I imagine it's just a slice of heaven on earth.
Oh, can't move this leg around. Kind of stuck in bed for a little while. Kind of working over the pain meds so I don't get addicted to opioids.
Yes, yeah. That was a bad thing. Let's not do that.
No, let's not. So I guess thanks Big Pharma for that. At the same time, I can understand why they exist now.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that it's very good to have when you need it.
Yeah, in very small doses.
Little baby ones.
Ooh, jeez. But yeah, other than that, I am getting by, and I look forward to days like this where I can talk to friends like you. It's been a while, and your hair is so loud. I love it.
It is. It's basically all about attention. I do everything except jump up and down and scream, "Look at me."
Yeah. Well, yeah, wear the hair is a sign for that,
Yes, yeah. I figure a visual cue of what you're in for when you meet me.
Yeah.
Then you can make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to walk away.
Very, very good. Well, at least
doing my part.
Yeah, you did your part. Whether or not this person lives or dies is up to him.
Entirely up to them. They have been given all of the options.
It's choose your own adventure day.
Exactly. What's behind?
Come with us to Six Flags. Don't look over there. That's where the children died. So bad. So
yeah, we shouldn't be left alone.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. How you grew up and how you got into the arts.
Yes. Well, I grew up for the most part in a small town in Mississippi in the woods. 3 brothers. So, we were of that generation where we were left to our own devices for most of the time. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things to do was make things. I would make tree houses out of fallen trees. I would rearrange leaves into interesting patterns. My mother really encouraged that kind of thing. And we did stuff like the spore prints from fungus. Always have been sort of a maker. And I've gone through tons and tons of mediums before I finally discovered, 1999. Discovered art quilts and fiber arts. And that's pretty much been what I've been after since then. Did a little stint in hat making, which led me to 3D sculpture in fiber, which is really what I've been exploring lately. But I play with what I want to play with nowadays. I made a promise to myself when I got a day job that my art would now be exactly what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, which has been amazingly freeing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I met you and Norm. It's been over 10 years.
Yeah. It was 2010, I think, when we were in Wazoo Union.
Right. And I remember you making all these different hats. Derby hats was a big thing as well. And then you guys opened up your own shop on I think it was on Larimer, right?
Yep. It's right on the corner, 35th and Larimer, I believe it was, or 36.
Yeah, and I've seen you do this incredible transformation. You've always had the fine art stuff in the background, but you also had incredible diligence on doing the stuff that paid for the night stuff, right?
Except then it stopped.
Yeah.
Some of it. So it was one of those things of it's not working. I'm not a very good entrepreneur. It makes me an angry, crazy person. So fortunately, they needed a manager over at Wazoo Union. About the time I decided I needed to get out of the game, and been managing for art studios since then. It was what, 2013, 2014?
Oh, no kidding. It's been that long.
It's been that long. Yeah. I did started over at Wazoo part-time, and then now I'm over here at Grace full-time with my studio attached to my office, which is why there's many things behind me.
Yeah, it's incredibly active. What is it that about like fiber arts that really draws your attention? What really compels you there?
I think it's the tactile nature. I really need to like hands-on play with whatever medium I'm working with, and I just love that you can get different textures, you can get different colors, you can create different effects, you can do 2D, you can do 3D, you can add to it and embroider it. I'm a really process-driven person, and just all the processes that you can do with fiber really kind of make it interesting all the time to me.
Yeah, it looks like in this piece too, you add a lot of like found objects. It looks like there's some photos and.
Yep, there's a photo that I transferred onto an old letter, and some copper tape, and some text that I've added with rubber stamps on old paper. So yeah, I mean, I'm a magpie in all kinds of ways, and I call it working in found object just to justify my huge collection of stuff.
Yeah. Really, you're just a hoarder, aren't you?
I'm really a hoarder, but it's called a stash. That makes it professional.
Yeah, there's a
so I won't end up
in that stash.
It does also mean that I'm picking up random pieces of trash off the ground when I'm out in the world, but
just stay away from the used condoms, okay?
Yeah, that and dirty needles. I don't need any of that.
Oh, I got to turn off this banner here, but yeah, I love fuck around and find out.
So this series started in 2016. The British Museum released a collection of their portraits that you could use, and as I was sort of looking through, because I like portraits, I was looking at the women, and almost all of them had this look on their face like, now what? And since it was 2016, most women I knew had that same sort of thought process going on. And It just sort of evolved into obscenities and stabbing and pretty flowers.
Right. Yeah. So this was, kind of your political or social commentary.
Yeah, pretty much. It was really, I don't do direct political stuff. I don't, my political opinion is not going to be influenced by too many people, and it's really none of anybody else's business. And so I try not to have those conversations if I don't have to. But a lot of my work is pretty politically motivated, just in an obscure kind of way. Makes sense to me.
Right. Well,
but yeah, most of the women's series, this embroidery, it's called Still With This, the series, and it's mostly phrases I utter on a daily basis. But just that sort of sense of, as a woman, we've kind of been dealing with the same thing over and over and over for hundreds of years, and it doesn't seem to get better. So that was a little political statement to it, but it get to do embroidery and pretty flowers with it.
Well, yeah, it delivers a subtext, and especially, with the, messages, against like misogyny and sexism and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, and there's for years and years and years, there's been a conversation in the fine craft world about how embroidery and a lot of fiber arts are considered women's crafts, and so they're not considered as much of a real art form. I don't know how much into that I buy, but the fact that I could use, an old cruel embroidery stitch to sort of reinforce that message tickled me a little.
Yeah, well, I think that's what a great medium then to kind of fire back at naysayers, right?
Yep. That was all intentional.
Yeah, and you've been doing some installation or some sculptural pieces too, like this here.
Yeah, that's part of the house series that I'm doing. After I sort of gave up doing the hats, one of the things I really enjoyed about the hats was the sculptural aspect of it. I never really thought about them as fashion. I thought of them more as fiber sculpture.
Okay.
And so I got really interested in translating that into decorative arts versus wearable arts.
Okay.
So I started playing with doing quilts in 3 dimensions. So the house in that piece, the technical definition of quilt is at least 2 layers of fabric joined by stitch.
Okay.
And so technically that house is a quilt. It's just been made into a 3D object.
That's awesome. What a great way to kind of deconstruct and then reconstruct that medium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it it confuses traditional quilters, but it makes you may notice a theme that if what I'm doing makes people go, "Hey, what?" Then I'm probably excited about it.
Yeah, well, you're probably doing something right if they have to come to attention all of a sudden.
Yeah, like I like making people think and double take and try and sort out how different ways you can think about things. I mean, it's a big world out there. There's a lot of stuff you can think about in different ways.
Yeah, well, yeah. At the very least, you're sending them on their way, and they're hopefully chewing paste.
Yeah. Or maybe trying to do things differently themselves.
Yeah, with something like this, are you, it seems like you have a narrative or a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
What is something like this?
Again, a lot of my work, well, almost all of my work has to do with emotions as a physical presence as opposed to something ethereal. And a lot of times they're tied to, I can only speak from my experience, and my experiences as a woman of the early 21st century, late 20th century. And so a lot of what I do work with has to do with that sense of women, both as a grounding element because of the motherhood and the housemaking and all of that, and also as these wild, free creatures from the past of, the witches and druid and high priestesses. And so there's this sort of dichotomy of womanhood that I like to play with in my work.
Okay. Wow. Nice.
Oh, deep, isn't it? Who'd have thunk the pink hair would have deep thoughts?
Deep thoughts from loud hair. That's awesome. So is that something that like you've always had an interest in, like when it comes to the history of women in different cultures?
As far as human history, yes. I'm not as interested in human history as I am in like prehistory and paleontology and things like that. I'm a big old science geek. But I am fascinated by how the perception of women has changed just 180 degrees over and over again, from positions of power to complete subservience and back again. So that out of human history does interest me. I didn't realize until I'd been doing art quilts for quite some time that was really what I was kind of doing.
Oh, okay.
Most of what I was doing was, hey, this will look cool. And then I realized once I made it that it kind of spoke to me in that way.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. So, you were able to assign meaning as you were developing the image?
Yes. Yeah, I work pretty intuitively. I'll have a rough idea of what I want to do. And sometimes it's just, I want to try this process. And so what can I make happen with it? Mm-hmm. And since I'm working intuitively with it, the piece sort of evolves on its own. And what I'm trying to say gets tied up in that.
Nice. When you're going along and you're like adding kind of found objects and stuff, is there any is there any like little aha moments or little indicators that of like, yep, something's got to go here, something's, or it's just, or when you're saying it's intuitive, it's just, just let it grow naturally and see what comes of it?
It's a little of both. Sometimes I'll look at something and go, this absolutely needs something right here. And let's see what I have. And sometimes it's, I'm just playing around with it and all of a sudden it sort of happens.
Okay, nice. I love this.
Science. So that's one of the things that I've gotten interested in. It's rug hooking or needle punch rug making.
Okay.
And because I am science geek, I thought it would be super fun to do more bacterial, microscopic kind of feeling creatures in my rugs and my patches that I'm making. So that's cool. That's about a 3-foot rug, I think. So just a little area rug, but yeah, I play with colors, play with patterns, and sort of hint at or microscopic growth. Wow,
that is pretty slick. Yeah, when I first saw this, I thought this was like, oh, this is an awesome oven mitt or something like that.
I have made smaller ones, but that's a size rug right there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think you sent over some photos, maybe of this the water bear.
Those are little patches. I started off with the amoebas just because I like amoebas. They're cool, and you can't go wrong with a tardigrade.
Yeah, those things are pretty sturdy little critters.
They really are. They're just fascinating, and I've gotten to see them in the wild, so I'm excited. I love tardigrades. That guy, he's probably, I don't know, 8 inches or so across.
Okay.
Wow. So, yeah.
Nice. What is it? What kind of struck you about tardigrades in the wild? Like
just the resilience of them. Just they're like, whatever, I'll make it work. You want to freeze me? All right, fine. Want to throw me up in the atmosphere? Okie dokie.
Yeah. They seem to survive the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Survive almost any freezing temperature. Can survive extreme heat.
Yep. They have found them up in the stratosphere. They just plug along and do their thing. I just love them, and they're cute. I mean,
they are adorable
and cute. I mean,
unless you
should hope to be that.
Unless you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, they are adorable.
Yes, they are. No, I have seen that, but they really gave the tardigrades a bad name.
Yeah. Darn it, Ant-Man.
Stupid Marvel.
Stupid Marvel and your Marvel movies. Your old quantum realm.
Yeah.
Science. Pretty sure that's some made up bullshit that came from a comic book.
It's entirely possible. We can't rule it out anyways.
Can't rule it out. Got to think about that source material.
Yeah, that's right.
IP stuff. Yeah, I know. We're descending really quick. It's really delightful.
It doesn't usually take us very long.
No, it doesn't. Pretty soon we're going to be smearing, poop and stuff around. Let's be real. It's just going to be me.
Yeah, I will devolve into interpretive dance. That's my usual way of, now Susan needs attention.
Well, that's probably for the best, because there's only one of us that's going to be able to dance, and it's not me.
That's true. We will not be switching roles this time.
No, I can think about how I want to move up here,
but you do arm movements,
It's a faulty schematic. Terrible. Just so bad.
Cause more harm than good.
Really, it would. It would cause many small children to go running to their moms. Why, mom? Why? Like, I don't know.
And there's the eye bleaching incidents. We just need to not.
That's true. That's a tough lesson for me.
I remember signing a waiver, Dan. I don't want to go there.
Right. So, this has been a piece too of yours that I've always really admired. For me, I mean, this this seems like this should be a book cover for a memoir. This seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like a little bit of parchment as well as different found fabrics kind of pieced together, but it does kind of read as though it's it's somebody's life story.
Yeah, a lot of what I do, I think, it's a story, or at least a part of a story. This piece was sort of in between going from 2D to 3D. But yeah, you're right. There's several different kinds of fabrics. There's a bunch of different techniques, but there's also some paper, some shells, abalone, just a little bit of everything. But yeah, it's definitely part of the story.
Was this, when laying this out, like it flows so nicely, was it, I'd imagine it was very intuitive.
It was, and there was lots of swearing as I had to do things more than once. This is gonna look awesome. Crap.
Yeah. God damn it.
How could I have been so wrong? Why? I'm not an artist.
This is the fucking shit. This is gonna be fucking amazing. Can't wait to show the world.
Shit. Why? There was a lot of that, but yeah, no, a lot of it was just kind of, and I think that one started with the phrase first. The title of it, the banner across the top says she waited for the tide to change. And so I came up with the title before I ever came up with the piece, which happens quite a bit.
Oh, okay. So you're usually, thinking about the title and the concept pretty early before you actually think of the actual artwork.
Yep. Either I've already got a title in mind when I start it, or I have to agonize over a title for like months after I finish it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine after you're physically done, you're like, okay, I want to be divorced of you. Yeah. Next, why aren't you off earning your keep in the rest of the world?
Yeah, and I have the attention span of a coked out ferret, so it's really, really hard for me to sit on something like that for a minute. Right.
No, I totally get it. Whenever I finish something, I'm on to the next thing. I don't have the attention span for the rest of my little kids.
No, and I mean, sometimes I don't even finish it. It wasn't really about. A lot of times for me, it's not about a finished piece. It's about. It's actually just the process of making it. So even if I don't finish it, I've still accomplished what I wanted with it.
No kidding. Oh, so with that, if you knowingly don't finish it, but you walk away, it's met some kind of satisfaction at that point?
Yeah, most likely. Or it's gotten to the point where, I mean, I'm always have about 6 or 7 projects going at once. It's something that I can't, like, it's not gonna get done. It just, there's something not happening with it. And it sits in my, well, maybe I'll look at it again later pile, which I have pulled things out of occasionally, but not very often. Usually once it's abandoned, it's gone.
The, in the last like 6 or 7 years, I think, like you and your husband had undergone some amazing, life changes. You both became like physically, very active, doing a lot of exercises, doing marathons and running and all kinds of, things. Did you ever see that reflected in your art?
I really don't think I have. I mean, got more energy to do it. So there is that. And I think one of the things I do like, so I do running and trail running, and a lot of times it's just, miles and minutes in your mind. And I do quite a bit of design work, or, think about what could be, the piece that I'm working on now, what could I try with that? And so it has given me a little bit more time and the ability to stop and think about things for a little while, as opposed to just throwing things out and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be able to have that purposefulness to it.
That, that's pretty cool. Yeah. It's nice to be able to have that energy to tackle at least an iota of all the things that you want to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's always more ideas than time.
Right. Do you ever have problems like shutting off your brain?
Oh yeah. Gosh. Mm-hmm. It's just bless its heart. It's like a little wild animal just bouncing around in there sometimes.
Yeah, it's like keep the catnip away from this one.
Oh yeah, Lord, it's this horrible combination of easily amused yet easily bored.
Right.
It's just everything's shiny.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's like great, chasing after the car.
Mm-hmm, pretty much, yeah. There are so many squirrels in this world, as they say.
Another thing too that you've been doing over the last few years are exterior installations.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've always really been interested in street art, but I don't paint. So murals were kind of out of the question for me. And I don't want to learn. That's, I suppose I could learn, but I don't want to. It's not my medium. It doesn't interest me. And if I'm not immediately good at it, then I must move on. So I kind of was thinking of ways that I could explore street art because I love the temporary nature of it. I love the sort of found aspect of it. And I discovered yarn bombing, but again, I don't crochet, and that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And so I started kind of thinking about the environment I live in, and I live pretty close to downtown Denver, and how things were sort of changing and evolving, and it sort of had its own little life cycle, kind of like the natural world does.
Right.
So I thought it would be kind of interesting to bring elements of the natural world that are man-made into this environment to kind of play with that concept of the life cycle. Mm-hmm. And I started with little teeny tiny mushrooms that I planted on the street. And it sort of evolved from there into these, I do plant forms now and kind of alien life forms. And I'm playing with the idea of doing seed pods. But it's been really, really interesting seeing people's reaction to a street art that's not spray paint murals.
Right.
It's just, they oh, I want to see one of your murals. I don't do murals. I do 3D fiber sculptural installations. Sometimes they are less than a couple inches across, and sometimes gigantic. Like last year, what I was working on was incrustations, where it was sort of based on the idea of an invasive species that it might be beautiful and it might end up in the long run being beneficial, but until it's already established, you're not going to know if it's beneficial or harmful. And so I wanted to play with that idea of this invasive species as it's getting going, and you just don't know what's going to happen with it.
Nice. What talking to people in public, what have been the responses to those pieces?
It's been funny. Some people are just absolutely can't wrap their brains around it as street art. I mean, they appreciate it. And then I get the people that are like, this just makes me smile, and it's so fun to find them. And it's interesting to see something other than murals. So it kind of runs the whole spectrum of reactions.
Well, that's cool. I know you've done mural fests and street art, festivals. Have other artists, responded as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a few collaborative projects that I've worked on with people. I've got a couple in the works right now. And it's kind of fun to sort of mix the 3D with folks who usually do just traditional 2D, just to see, how it can expand their thought process and creativity as well. But yeah, I mean, all things that I do creative do because they amuse me, and this just amuses the hell out of me.
That's cool. What what is it about doing it in such a public setting that you think is so appealing?
Again, it's probably the attention bit of it.
Okay.
I heard somebody say one time that all street art is essentially somebody saying I was here.
Right.
And kind of like that. But I needed to do it sort of my way, where I'm here, but you need to look for where I was. And it's not going to be what you expect. And it's not going to be what you're used to seeing. And I really like the temporal nature of it. I like that it's not supposed to last forever, that not everybody's going to get to see it.
Yeah, with that too, like with your work, does it like blow away? Do you take it down? Is it met with vandalism?
It has. I've had some pieces that have been stolen, and then I have some pieces, like one of the first pieces I did was under a bridge, the 38th overpass.
Okay.
And it's in one of the cracks there. There's a whole bunch of little flowers that I put in. And they have been, because people spray paint under there, they've been buffed over more than once. They're still there, but they've been buffed over. I just love it.
That's hilarious. So now they're permanent.
Yeah. People have stolen them. I've had property owners scrape them off. I mean, it's the same reaction as it is for a mural that, some people want it, some people don't. I try to be really respectful of private property, especially if I know the owner. I'll ask. Right. I refer to myself as what is it I call myself? I try to be a considerate subversive.
Okay.
So I don't want to cause trouble.
But I will say,
but I'll sneak out around and put some stuff in alleyways on occasion.
I don't want to cause any trouble, but I am setting fire to it.
Yeah, I don't want to cause any trouble that I might get caught at.
Right.
My first time out, oh my God, I was such a dork. I'm like dark hoodie. I'm gluing stuff to walls. Oh, it was ridiculous. It took me
hide in the shadows and stuff.
Oh, I was driving around for an hour trying to get the courage up to go glue something on a sidewalk.
Well, I understand that. I think the first time I painted a mural outside was at Mutiny Cafe. Mm-hmm. And I think if they didn't, compel me or, challenge me, I probably would have never done it.
Yeah, Jim was nice enough he's one of the first businesses I ever approached to do installation. And he was nice enough to let me play over there. My first legit one.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, Jim Norris and Matt Megacy over there are just outstanding. They're the sweetest people, and they support anything that's going to be creative and push that envelope.
Yep. Yeah, I love them for that.
So that's cool. So I'm curious. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but what was the piece over at Mutiny?
So this was when I was doing really, really smaller scale stuff, but I did a cluster of, smallish flowers about that big at the entranceway on the bottom, sort of tucked into all the brick where it sort of cracked a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's still there or not. This was a couple, 3 years ago.
Nice. That'd be pretty cool. I think they just painted last summer.
Yep.
So it might be a good time to approach them with a new installation someplace.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun to see. With so many things starting to open up with COVID, you have more people getting vaccinated and everything. Mm-hmm. And having survived just a horrible year for so many people, what was it like as an artist to endure that?
It was rough. I'm not gonna lie. Both personally, not as much professionally, but I think a lot of artists, or at least the artists that I know and interact with, mm-hmm. even though we're not terribly social, we still sort of feed off of a group creative energy. And that was lost for quite a while. So it took a bit to come back from that. Again, I'm lucky I'm in a position that I don't have to make something to try and make a living out of it. Mm-hmm. But I did, I took, amongst other things, I had some mental health issues during that time. But yeah, I didn't really start creating things again. Winter. It was almost 8 months before I really was kind of back to feeling creative again. So, and I know a lot of that had to do with isolation's not the right word, but that sort of sense of not being able to be part of creative energy again.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm at work. My phone's ringing.
No problem. We'll let you get it, or
yeah, just turn it down so we don't have to hear it.
All right, we'll turn it down. That's okay.
We may not be hearing me.
If it's an emergency, they'll call back.
This is true. Or they'll answer the phone, they'll leave a message of them screaming and I'll figure it out. Shush it. There we go.
Oh, that's
multitasking.
Yeah, at least the voice messaging, it's doing its job. It's taking messages. Mm-hmm. We'll get back. What? There's another, space-time continuum rift in your we'll get the Fantastic Four.
I can't deal with this. Why is this my job? Yeah. I remember at Wazee Union, Kyle. Remember Kyle?
Yeah, I remember Kyle. Yeah.
Kyle told me the reason he quit was he was tired of people yelling at him about toilet paper and extension cords.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel his pain.
I know. They should learn to steal their own.
I'm kidding. Everybody knows it's not like I hide it. It's just take it.
just take it. You don't need any bathroom tissue.
We use leaves here.
We use leaves and we wash rags.
Yeah. We're environmentally conscious.
That's right. If it's burning, that means the paint thinner's still working.
Exactly. You as property manager also feel my pain. I know this.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Extension cords, space heaters, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why don't we have any water? It's like, well, because God's teaching you a lesson.
Yeah.
You've been bad. And now the water needs to go away.
And this is how you will atone.
This is how you atone. You're going to have to take a little vacation, become a Buddhist. Sorry.
Absolutely.
I think they use less water. That's
but we digress.
So anyway, back to the really real issues.
Back to the important things.
What are you wearing?
Thrift store, everything.
Excellent. Nice. The when you're going out and like securing your fabrics, well, you mentioned earlier you're basically like picking up stuff and storing things until but like with fabrics, are you going to like Joann's or fabric houses or places like that?
Yeah, as in all things, I err on the side of excess with fabric. I have a huge fabric collection right now, but I still, I'll go to Joann's, Denver Fabric. It was a sad day when they closed. But I'll also use, thrifted garments. We've got 2 or 3 fiber artists here at Grace that I take some of their leftovers. I just find what I find when I find it. There seems to be no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah. Just there's just something that speaks to you, I suppose.
A lot of times I'll see a fabric and I have absolutely no need for it, but I have to have a yard of it because something will pop up.
Okay.
A lot of times those are the ones that I'll use.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always amazing to run across something, and try to justify. It's like, hey, I got to pick this up because I could use it for a piece down the road.
Yep, down the road. Or I really, 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 really like this, and I will find something incredible to do with it, so I must purchase it.
Yeah, that's got to be an interesting, conversation to have. I remember when I used to, well, I still do that to some extent, but specifically with sculptural stuff, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Let's how do we utilize this? Now most of my stuff is illustrated based, so it's just like, well, I can just draw it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could just sew it, but I could also do it 1,600 other ways with everything that I've got.
Yeah, well, if you got the thing there, it's just like, Just get the hot glue gun. Let's go. Let's get this baby going.
Make this happen.
Then we'll make the rest of it happen. So
I have to go and get the things that need to happen because of the thing that already happened.
yeah.
It's a horrible cycle. It's like Inception.
Right. It's the dream within the dream within the,
it's the fabric shopping within the fabric shopping.
yeah. What these are also some sculptural
example. That fabric is one that I saw and I couldn't resist, and I knew I had to do something with it, and so I bought it.
Okay. Was it
no for it?
Was it always the fabric itself, or did you also like envision the kind of doll like sculpture?
Not when I bought the fabric. When I bought the fabric, it was literally, this is super cool fabric. I got to find something to do with it. And then that one was, I believe, either the second or the third in that series of dolls. And I knew I wanted to do earth tones. And when I stumbled upon that fabric, that kind of directed the whole thing.
Nice. Wow, that's pretty cool. It looks like there's some netting and stuff in there too.
Let's see. There's 2 different commercial cottons that I've hand embroidered, and then the garment that she's wearing is rust dyed silk. I dyed that myself and created the garment out of it.
Wow, that's it. It's incredibly elegant.
Until you get to the elk teeth.
I noticed. Yeah, I was just like, oh, look at those buttons. Oh, those are teeth.
Those are teeth, and I dug those out of a skull I found myself.
Oh, wow. So you're not kidding when you're like, yeah, found object.
Oh yeah. Found out in the woods outside of Lost Creek Wilderness. Found the skull and the teeth. So this series of dolls this is all title based. It's phrases that have double meanings, both as geology and psychology.
Okay.
So this particular one is called Wearing Down Slowly Over Time. And so that kind of led me to the rust. And then once I realized I had those elk teeth, that kind of had to happen.
Nice. What about for like the form of I guess is it a goose or not, or the swan?
I refer to them as bird women. It's just sort of not atypical. It's sort of a amalgamation of all kinds of birds. It's just a bird.
Bird women, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm curious. What the story is. There.
Again, still playing with that idea of the physical aspect of emotions. Birds have always sort of been a stand-in for women, or an image for women for me. It's that nest versus flight dichotomy that kind of sort of speaks to women or of women to me. And then the emotions as geology, how, geology, you think of that as fixed and solid and ever present, and emotions are actually very similar to geology in their influence and impact. And so once I started kind of playing with the titles and coming up with the phrases that worked both ways, it just kept happening. And again, it was more 3D fiber, which makes me happy.
Excellent. We want to keep Susan happy.
Keep Susan happy. It's best. And occupied, not bored. Grumpy and bored is bad.
Susan, take revenge out on humanity.
Susan, smash.
Oh, man. That was a good laugh because I could feel it in my leg.
Yeah, good. Physical therapy provided at no extra charge.
That's right. Thanks, the healing, healing powers of laughter.
Healing powers of laughter. It hurts if it heals.
Oh, it should hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That'll teach you a lesson. Don't do it again, babe.
And least favorite phrase heard by the preschoolers I taught. And what did we learn from this?
Not to put Ted in the oven.
Oh, you fell off the slide after I told you not to climb on it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some kids, I tell you.
I know, but that's how you learn.
Yep, by trial and error.
Mm-hmm. And you just hope you don't need a helmet for the rest of your life after the error.
True. Yeah, after that first accident.
Yeah.
Test those waters. Yeah, man. So, right now you've got like 6 or 7 projects, that you're still working on.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Are you going to be doing some gallery shows? You're still going to be doing some outdoor art fests?
So I'm really kind of just focusing on working right now. I haven't done a lot of exhibitions or anything. I'm playing with combining living plants with fiber and sculpture now. So I kind of want to see where that goes before I start thinking about where to display it and how to display it. But yeah, it's I go through fits and spurts of wanting to show my work and wanting to make my work. And right now we're in a make my work kind of phase.
Well, that's pretty good. So that'll keep you pretty occupied then, for at least several weeks through summer, right?
I would hope so. Yeah, at least get that going.
Yeah.
And then sort of see where where I've gone and what to do with it from there.
Yeah, but you're also working on some collaborations as well.
Yeah, yep. Working on collaboration. I've done a couple of just more wall pieces, not installations, with a cool artist named Justin Florman. And then Markham reached out. I reached out to Markham, and so I'm gonna do a little work with him. We're looking at doing a couple of projects together.
Awesome.
And then there's got some stuff coming up here at Grace that I'm going to play with and see if maybe can include some printmaking. Who knows?
Cool. That's also going to be a pretty. I mean, I know it's your work environment too, but it's also got to be great creatively. Seeing people coming back after a pandemic.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, reigniting.
Mm-hmm.
That creative spirit and dialogue.
Yep. And it's been I'm really interested to see. I mean, I've known quite a few of the tenants here for years now, and I'm really interested to see if and how their work changes in response to the past year.
Right.
Are the landscape artists going to change their palette? Are the abstract folks going to try something different? It's just going to be really interesting to me, because I think with most artists, what we experience influences what we do. And so it'll be interesting to see, I think. Yeah, most definitely. That'll be great. That'll be great to to see and reconnect on. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, just as long as Susan gets her coffee.
I want my iced latte in the morning. Sometimes we need to have an extra one mid-morning. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds great.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. One coffee and I'm done. Right now. Yeah, that's probably for the best.
It's probably, yeah.
Over
caffeinated Daniel is
over caffeinated and in bed with no place to go. It's not a pleasant thing. Nobody should see it. It's embarrassing. Yeah.
But on the other hand, you probably shouldn't be shut in with that.
No, I shouldn't.
Someone needs to check on you once in a while.
Every now and then, it's like, oh, what's that smell of death? Oh, God, check on death for a while.
Quick, throw him some Pop-Tarts.
Yes, that's okay. Just chuck at it. Don't even look.
He can't move fast, but don't make eye contact. He finds it threatening.
He finds it threatening. He might turn you to stone.
Ooh,
new powers.
Daniel Crosier, Gorgon.
I'm a Gorgon. Look at my sticky hair. Gross. Yeah, I definitely have COVID hair. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, I went ahead and cut my own hair for part of the pandemic, which, when your personal style is that of escaped mental patient, you can get away with cutting your hair.
Well, that's great, because you go for loud anyway.
Yep. It's all about attention. I love double takes. I love little girls going in the grocery store. Mommy, she's got pink hair, and then the mom will apologize to me. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't do this to not get attention.
No. Yeah.
Tell your child to talk about me.
I want your kid to point me out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I want her to do the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah. I want her to know that being ridiculous is okay.
That's right.
So what you want to be, then that's what you should be.
Oh,
it took me 40 years to get there. So
that's okay. At least you got there.
I got there. Yep. One of these days I'll show you pictures of me in junior high. It's quite impressive.
Is it?
Natural hair color. Oh yes.
Yeah. Did Norm when he met you? Did he know your natural hair color then? Or?
I actually was doing mostly my natural hair color. It was a little lighter than the blonde that it actually was, but it wasn't this. Okay. Yeah, the shenanigans of covering gray unnaturally didn't start until 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Like, the hell with it. I'm just gonna go for it.
Nice. Susan, it's been absolutely fantastic to be able to reconnect with you on here. It's always a delight to chat with you.
We do always have a good time, don't we, Dan?
We definitely do.
Much to the dismay of others around us.
Yeah. It's probably best that there's no sharp objects or anything around us.
Probably best. Yeah.
Oh wait, what's this?
Oh,
that's not a knife.
And I raise you my murder hammer.
That's not a knife. That's right. It's a murder hammer.
Right. It's a hammer.
This isn't Crocodile Dundee territory.
No. Oh. Why would we want that?
No, nobody wants that. The 80s do, but that's enough.
Yeah, we're done with that now.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, so for everybody that was able to tune in, make sure you go to Susan's website, stfiberarts.com, and you can follow her on Instagram and Facebook and other cyber stalky areas.
Yep, feel free to cyber stalk. I might cyber stalk back. You never know.
Ooh, that's nice and neighborly.
You smell nice when you're sleeping.
Okay, I'm creeped out. I'm walking.
There we go. We do one of us.
I gotta go.
It's been fun. Delete, block.
Susan, I can't wait to see you in person again.
I can't wait either. Thanks for letting me come play with you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Say hi to Norman and hang out for just a minute. To everybody else that tuned in, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Be good, help each other out there. And today's episode was brought to you by Mutiny Cafe. Woo-hoo! If you absolutely positively have to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care and, help each other out. We love you.